And to shed more light on the importance of this visit, we are joined over the phone by Ambassador Amr Ramadan, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good afternoon, Mr. Ambassador Amr. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you for receiving me.
Yes. So, sir, what is the significance of this visit and the key outcomes expected from the Sudanese President's visit to Egypt in terms of strengthening bilateral ties?
I think this is a very important visit, especially at this time, after the recent successes of the Sudanese army to gain control over major parts in areas in Khartoum and beyond. And it comes also as part of the regular coordination between the two presidents and the two countries on very important regional issues, either on the Arab front or the African front. So it is timely in terms of getting that kind of bilateral discussions and the summit between the two heads of state, and also to continue their bilateral discussion on the issues that I referred to, either regionally or globally.
Yes, how does Egypt's involvement in Sudan's conflict, including hosting peace talks and providing humanitarian aid, reflects its commitment to regional peace?
Of course, Egypt and Sudan, you remember that Egypt and Sudan more than 100 years ago were one country, and we have brotherly relationship between the Sudanese people and the Egyptian people. There is much of going on between the two societies in terms of even marriage, not just trade and coordination, but also marriage and family ties. So they are more or less one society in that sense. So we, in Egypt, we have always been in favor of peace in Sudan, in favor of development in Sudan, in favor of the Sudanese uniting on one leadership, and also trying to address their own regional problems and domestic problems as well. So the war was never intended to be something beneficiary to any Sudanese to that effect. So we are in support of the Sudanese unity. We are in support of Sudanese focusing on development rather than focusing on fighting.
So, sir, given Egypt's hosting of millions of Sudanese refugees, how does this humanitarian support influence bilateral relations?
This, of course, again, is coming as part of the brotherly relations between the two countries and the two populations. And we do have our own economic problem, but this didn't prevent us from extending support as much as we can to our brothers in Sudan. And I think there is appreciation to that, and we do what we can in that sense.
So, sir, the two sides agreed to foster closer coordination and joint action to safeguard the water security of both states. What's your take on this?
Again, this has been a very long negotiations that both the two countries and Ethiopia, unfortunately, earlier this year or late last year, these talks ended without reaching the agreement that we were catering for in Egypt and in Sudan, but probably more in Egypt that we asked for, and we tried to reach an agreement which is legally binding on the three parties in terms of the water flow. That, as you know, and your audience, was not possible. So we continue to address the same concern in a different format, not necessarily through legally binding agreement, but through cooperation between the three countries.
Also, President Sisi and General Al-Burhan addressed the ongoing implementation of joint projects across a range of vital sectors, including electrical interconnection, railways, trade, cultural and scientific exchange. How do you see these joint projects between the two countries and their importance?
I mean, the joint projects, either development projects or infrastructure projects, fall again on the type or the domain of cooperation that involve the two countries together. We have agriculture cooperation, we have industrial cooperation, we have medical cooperation. We have many areas actually of cooperation that Egypt probably in some of them have advantage, and also in other areas Sudan has advantage. So I guess that cooperation on these fields is helpful to both sides. And again, I mean, we are trying to do what we can, and the Sudanese are also from their side trying to do what they can. And we come to them, they come to us in open arms, extend our hands to them, and see what we can do together.
Yes, I'd like to thank Ambassador Amr Ramadan, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Thank you, sir, for being with us. Short break and we'll be back, so stay tuned.